Hi everyone, welcome back. Dr. Ivan Khan here, CEO of Khan's Tutorial. Today's video will discuss how the SAT can help you get into college. Right now we have to think about what happens every summer. We're out of school if you're in New York by the end of June. You have the entire summer, you have July and August. So this summer, our calendar, we have two fantastic programs. Either a 4-day program that's really intense, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that's called SAT Elite. Or a program that's just 2 days a week, that's on the weekends, it's called SAT Premium. A lot of you high schoolers should be getting your summer youth employment opportunities and internships. So in case you have weekday commitments, you can always use the weekends to catch up with our SAT Premium program. But for those of you who don't have anything for the weekdays, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days a week, all for the August SAT. So let's remember that August SAT registration happens on July 29. Move over to August, and then we'll check out that this year in 2022, the August exam, like every summer, is happening on August 27. So our program will have several diagnostics that are full length, and we'll go into why the SAT is so important for a terrific college offer with scholarship. So as we continue, I'd like to introduce who our SAT teachers will be this summer. As always, I'm Dr. Ivan Khan. I went to Columbia University for business school and SUNY Downstate for my MD and MPH. We have Faisal Mullah, who's the director, and he's at NYU Langone Medical Center right now after a career at CCNY. Your teachers will be Kazi from Columbia University and our Ahmed in the weekends from Cornell University. So for those of you who are taking the SAT Elite package, at least one of the teachers will be Kazi from Columbia University. And for those in the SAT Premium, it'll be Ahmed Sultan from Cornell University. We also have Atai, who's been very experienced with us, and they're from NYU Dental School. And we have our favorites, Tiago and Andrew, from SUNY Binghamton and SUNY Stony Brook, respectively. We'll also have a chance to work with Tabassum, who not only got into some really fantastic colleges, but they go to Sophie Davis right now. So let's talk about how the SAT matters for college. When colleges look at all the scores of kids and students from different high schools, they have to find out, what does this GPA from this high school, how does that compare to the other? And the one easy way they can do that is by looking at your SAT score out of 1,600. And most importantly, for a lot of us immigrants, the SAT score can help you get a lot of scholarship. So when to take the SAT? You gotta have options. Right now we're looking at August, because August is the first point in the year before senior year starts, before junior year starts. You want to think about August. So if you're taking the summer SAT courses at Khan's, you'll be able to complete all of your coursework just in time for the August exam. After that, in the fall, October and November are great times for seniors. So if you're finishing 11th grade, you're starting 12th grade this fall, and you need to take that one final time to get your score past that cutoff that you're looking for, that's going to happen in October or November. And for all you current 9th and 10th graders, there are spring dates that exist in March, May, and June. We'll talk about that in future videos. So about the SATs, we know when we have to take it, but what's on the SATs? It's more than a 3-hour exam. You have 4 sections. You have reading comprehension, writing, no calculator math, and oftentimes, depending on the version, there may even be an optional essay. So you just have to keep in mind the SAT is constantly changing. It is very challenging material. And if you're a New York City high school student, you'll definitely benefit from some extra practice, whether through Khan's Tutorial or your practice at home. So what does it take to get into some of the top universities? If you're watching at home and you're a New York City student, chances are all the top students are going to be applying to Columbia University. And you'll see that you need anywhere between a 1490 to 1580 between the 25th and 75th percentile. So that means their median minimum is probably somewhere between 1540, 1550, and they still only have a 7% acceptance rate. So very few kids get in every year. It's really selective, and it's really critical that you do well on your SATs, whether it's Harvard, Columbia, Brown, or UPenn. Now let's take a look at some other schools that are within our targets. They may not be the reaches like the Ivy Leagues, but you have New York University. Again, if you're a New York City student, almost every top kid are going to apply to NYU. I can guarantee that. And NYU luckily has a 16% acceptance rate. But what is the SAT that's required? It's at least a 1450 to 1500. So even if you're looking at NYU and you want some scholarship dollars from them, you're gonna need to have your SAT score well into the mid 1500s. Of course, you have Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. You have Tufts University, which is an excellent school in Boston. It's one of my favorite schools. And again, Northeastern in Boston as well, who are known for their internship co-op matching programs. Fantastic school if you want to get some real-world experience as a college student. So some other public colleges, even if it's private versus public, all the top colleges want a strong SAT score. So if you're looking at a place like University of Michigan, you still need a top SAT, a median SAT score in the 1450 to 1500s. College of William and Mary in the Mid-Atlantic, that's at least going to be a 1480. UNC Chapel Hill, where Michael Jordan went to college, or any other top athletes and graduates coming out of there, UNC Chapel Hill, you'll still need a 1400, 1450. And of course, even if it's the University of Texas, strong public university system, you'll still need a good 1500 score if you're going to get a good scholarship there. So there's been a lot of talk about test optional versus test blind. There is a key difference. Test optional is when a college won't require a SAT score, but if you submit it, it's only going to help you. So that means the college has to accept some kids who don't have the SAT requirement that they normally do. And that means those kids who are most likely going to be paying their full way, or they may have two parents who've gone to that school and they may benefit from the legacy rule where you get a slight advantage. For them, test optional may work. But if you're an immigrant like me, nearly every single immigrant or child of immigrants that I've seen has had to use their SAT score to get in and show their SAT score to get into a great college. Test blind is absolutely, the college won't look at it. Even if you submit it, it won't help you, it won't hurt you. That's test blind. It's really rare. Test optional you might see, and increasingly a lot of colleges are returning to using the SAT for their admissions. Knowing the typical testing requirements, let's think about what's in your control as a student. The items in green that are standardized tests and your GPA, the number of APs you can take, and your essay, those things are under your control. The reputation of your school, what's going on with your guidance counselor's recommendations, some of those things might be out of your hands. So always try to focus and push yourself to the maximum for those areas where you can control the outcome. And that does include your SAT performance. So once again, our Summer Elite weekdays, it's Tuesday, June 28th through Friday, August 26th is our weekday elite program, 4 hours a day, and that's going to get you those 1400s and 1500s on your way to a top college. And SAT Premium, for those of you that are busy with internships, that's going to be on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays only, starting on July 2nd to August 28th. And finally, we do recognize that there are many options you have. Keep in mind what Constitutorial is charging, and let's look at some of the other places. You'll have the highest number of hours, the lowest number of kids in any class, and oftentimes the lowest prices. So we have that best combination of a track record of 1400s and 1500s, and you can take a look at some of the other places. You don't want to overspend or be in a class with 40 kids. Come to Constitutorial and we got you. See you soon.